Okay, welcome back, everybody, to Old School Sports with Mike and the Hammer, and we have another great show for you today. We're going to be covering those Red Sox, the NCAA playoffs, the Celtics, the Bruins. But before we get to that, Hammer, I just read something in the Globe today about Mike Vrabel and, a woman reporter. Is it all to do about nothing? Tell me about it. What do you think?
Well, that was going to be my What's Bugging Hammer segment, but let's get to it right now.
Why not?
All right, Mike. We're lucky enough to have your wife in the crowd today, in the studio audience.
We are lucky.
I'm throwing this question to her. She doesn't have to answer it, but when you hear what I have to say, I think you'll know her answer.
Okay.
So here's Mike Vrabel. He's down in Arizona State working out players. He jumps in a car. He drives 125 miles. Takes him 2.5 hours to get to this little obscure little place in the mountains in Arizona. There he meets a reporter, Dianna Russini, okay?
Of The Athletic.
Yep, and Mike, show some of those pictures. My cameraman Mike, can you throw them up?
Well, we're really going to slam them, huh?
So here's a picture right now. They're on a rooftop watching the sunset, okay? Who do you watch a sunset with? Somebody that you're emotionally involved in or have a lot of feelings for? I mean, this is like one of the best sunsets you're going to see in the world, okay? And then, Mike, the picture of them in the hot tub together, in the jacuzzi. I mean, there's so many pictures. And they're claiming that, there's a whole bunch of us there. But when you dig deep into it, like my sources have, Mike, okay, this place, this hotel, they're famous for couples, no kids allowed. They have like 586 proposals, 600 marriages, all this other stuff. That's all people do that go there. It's couples. So Vrabel, that picture of him on the roof, right? So you're starting to see my point.
Yeah.
That picture on the roof is, it costs $2,160 to have that room where you have access to the roof. Okay, who got the room? There's only 2 of them in the picture. So well, I just think that and like I was saying, when you were working and sometimes you had to go and be overnight somewhere, if you drove 2.5 hours to meet up with someone, and a couple pictures were, shown to your family, what would they think?
Well, I read the article in the Globe, and it was kind of a vanilla article. They didn't really go into detail like you are. I guess if I had presented with that, I'd have a different opinion. But they were just saying that she's a reporter for The Athletic, and they were talking, he's out there discussing draft choice and all that stuff. So it seemed pretty innocent to me the way they presented it. But after you throw that out there, I guess it doesn't look real good that they were actually doing an interview process there.
No, I don't think there's much in-depth interviewing going on there.
Yeah.
So it's too bad because here's a guy that it looks like he made a bad choice, and they're both married, so they both made some bad choices.
Right.
And the thing is, he's a guy that it's team, it's family.
Everyone's.
And then when you see this, you're kind of like, are you just full of crap?
Yeah, like his team is his family too. I mean, everything is huggy. Well, that's why I didn't. They mentioned the hug in the Globe, but I was thinking he hugs everybody, and even I've seen him hug some of the Globe reporters, after interviews and such. So I don't know, but I didn't know he drove. I know he drove a couple hours.
Yeah, 125 miles
for a hug. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah, but this is the second time that Dianna Russini's had issues, though. Back in 2015, the general manager of the Washington Reds, well, back then they were the Washington football team, and the Scott McLaughlin, his wife posted a bunch of stuff saying, this is my husband's side girl, because, she was breaking a bunch of stories for the Washington football team at that point.
Yeah.
And then the wife of, the general manager's like, well, she's getting all the information because my husband's giving it to her because they're an item.
The plot thickens.
And the thing is, Vrabel will recover from this because people don't really, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Bob Kraft's the owner too. So,
yeah, and he had his issues too.
Yeah.
So people look the other way. I just feel bad for her only because she is so high up on the food chain as far as being a reporter and being respected and stuff. And the way it is now, it's kind of like, they'll treat her differently. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they shouldn't, because this happens to everybody in life. But
I think both of them are big enough in their fields that they're gonna survive this. I don't think it's gonna be a firing on either side.
Right, but I'm just saying things change now. All of a sudden, she that Dianna Russini does all the big games.
Yep.
She's at the Super Bowl. She's at the championship games. How is she going to interview Mike Vrabel now with this going
You
on?
mean next week should be covering Hanover Norwell high school game?
I don't know. But you know, that's the side of it. The other side of it for me is what was going on at the Super Bowl? Because the Patriots are so unprepared.
I knew we were going to
looked
get
like
to
they
that.
were in disarray, okay? Here's Mike Vrabel's family at this hotel. Here's Dianna Russini doing her interviews and this and that. Is he juggling the two women? Is he trying to figure out time to see both of them? Yet the team is struggling because I'll tell you, they did not look prepared for that game.
Well, you might be right, but I think you're wrong. I don't think he would have jeopardized that, and I think the team came first there, and I think they just lost to a bigger, stronger, faster team. And that's it in a nutshell.
Well, I'm just saying, if you don't have the same preparation, if in the back of your mind you're like, well, I got to keep these two apart, and I want to find time to be with both of them.
TMZ is calling you.
Yeah.
You going to answer the phone?
No, I'm just saying, you hate to talk about stuff like this because it's just allegations.
Sure.
But on the paper, when you see the photos and you know, it is like, what is it? It's the New York Post. Yeah, it's kind of like a tabloid.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Not kind of.
And TMZ, they're always right though, aren't they? They don't post anything until they got you.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone always denies everything, and we're going to sue you, but no one ever sues. Because you know what happens? The New York Post is probably going to say, listen, we got more. So if you start spouting off that we don't have credibility and that our reporters didn't do a good job, we've got more we're going to drop.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're like, it's bad enough. I don't want anything else.
Yeah. Don't stoke the fire because there's more coming if you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so that's it.
All right.
So
That's
it's just too bad.
disappointing.
But the only thing, and why it was going to be a what's bugging Hammer, what is going on in this town, Mike? All these managers, like
The Celtics
Ume
coach.
Adoka, he was
Yeah.
a Celtics coach, gets fired 3 days before the season because he was hooked up with somebody in the front office.
Right.
And then, you know, Belichick, we know about his thing, dating a 20-year-old, you know, and he had his Linda Holiday for a girlfriend for 20 years.
I liked her.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
You know, John Farrell, Red Sox, he won the World Series in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
He's caught with the sideline reporter, so he lost his
Okay,
job.
okay.
And now Vrabel. It's like, what is wrong with these guys?
I don't know. Something in the water.
Something
I think
in the
Frank
water.
Cohen was involved in something too, I guess, I think. But who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So,
All right.
hey, let's move on to more positive things like your Boston Red Sox.
Well, the Red Sox, get this, Tom. The Red Sox are 187th team in history to lose at least 8 of the first 10 games. Of the first 186, just 12 of them reached the postseason. That's 6.5%. And the 1991 Twins won the title. So what's the chance of them going forward, making the playoffs after this start?
Well, here's the thing. You can start off bad and just have what they used to call buzzard's luck. You know, fly balls dropping in there, you know, home runs that like make it in the first row when you lose these heartbreakers. Not this team. They're getting killed.
Yeah.
If you look at it, okay, the pitching is terrible. You have one guy that can pitch on the whole team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like Suarez, free agent signing, ERA like 10.
Washed up.
Bayo, oh, he got hurt last year. He's going to come back and do great. He sucked too.
Marginal.
So his 2 guys in the starting 5 that can get you 3 innings.
Yep.
Okay, so you get no chance.
What about
there.
Sonny Gray?
Sonny Gray pitched
Washed
a good
up.
game. He pitched a decent game last week.
Yeah.
But he's going to be hot and cold.
Yeah.
So there's 3 guys in your rotation you can't count on.
The Suarez and the Sonny Gray, it would have been nice if they got him 2 or 3 years ago when they were,
Right.
you know, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago. They were really good.
Yeah.
They got him now because they got him on the cheap.
Cheap.
Cheap,
Well, right now
cheap.
you've won 3 games, okay? 2 of them was when Crochet started. So what does that tell you?
Right. Well, he's the horse, right?
So you're like, okay, if we can't pitch, maybe we can hit.
Yeah.
They can't hit either. They lead the league in strikeouts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have the least amount of home runs in the league.
Yep.
And usually, like the Yankees, okay, Yankees hit home runs and strike out a lot. So you're like, well, okay, that makes sense because you're going for the fence every time.
Right.
But when you can't hit home runs and you strike out all the time, you suck.
We need what's Earl Weaver always? What did he always say?
3-run homer.
Give me that 3-1 homer anytime, baby.
Makes every manager look smart.
Yeah. So the Sox are focused on their swing rate, right? They swing at a 32% rate of pitches out of the strike zone. And they only swing at 60% in the strike zone, where the average is 66. So they're swinging at pitches they shouldn't be swinging at, and they're not swinging at pitches they should swing at.
Well, and that's how you end up where you're at.
Oh my God!
You know.
Roman Anthony, though, this is a side note. He's the 4th youngest player on opening day. So he's given all his trouble starting out. Right? I mean, I know that in the spring training he was like the next Ted Williams, and now he's starting out not too good, right? Yeah. But he's still 21 years old. I think it's a matter. He's from South Florida, and we live in South Florida, and it's warm all year round. This cold is probably freaking him out because he didn't play last year in the beginning. I mean, he didn't come into play until mid-May or something.
But
right?
I'm just saying, how soft a baseball play is.
I know.
The other team's playing on the same field.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Toughen up.
It's just different to watch. I don't like April baseball. You look at them like they're at a football game or something.
Well, they play. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. You started the season too early, but that's the way it goes. But so we've talked about the pitching. They can't pitch. We talked about the hitting. They can't hit. Now let's go to the defense, because the general manager, when he didn't get any batting help in the offseason, he said, we're going to win on pitching and defense. We're going to be a run-prevent team. Okay, so that means you're going to catch the ball. They lead the league in errors.
Time out. The last 4 years in a row, they led the majors in errors.
Yeah.
And Cora's focus said this year he's going to turn that around. They're going to be a great defensive team. It's just
They're worse
status quo
defensively this year than they have been the last few years. Now, here's the thing. The other day they played Milwaukee Brewers. They gave up 5 runs, okay? Milwaukee had 16 consecutive batters who didn't hit the ball out of the infield. But because you can't catch the ball, they scored 5 runs.
Yeah.
How do you score 5 runs and not hit the ball out of the infield? Because it's like the Keystone Cops. You're throwing the ball around everywhere. It's like watching a Little League game.
Farm league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not hitting cutoffs. You're throwing it over the first baseman's head. You can't make a play. So how do you win? And this is a long answer to your question.
Yeah.
You're 3-8. Can you come back? No, not the way they're currently put together.
Well, they could, but they're going to have to start right away here. But a lot of the players that they interviewed, they were blaming it on the WBC there. I don't think so. They were saying that distraction. They were playing in this World Baseball Classic, and we were missing our players. If anything, it would have helped them. Because they were getting more advanced, playing better teams, and they would have been playing. You play in the spring training, you're playing all these guys that have got jobs at Lowe's when they get back from Florida. But at least in the WBC, you're playing high talent. So I don't know how that is an excuse.
It's an excuse.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Usually, like you said, you play in spring training. You play 2 innings, and then you go golfing the rest of the day.
Right. A lot of the players, the veterans, don't even play in the games.
Yeah, they don't take those bus rides. They only play the home games.
No bus rides for me. No.
Yeah.
No.
So it's a total disaster. But and you'd be like, you talk about Roman Anthony and how he's supposed to be the savior.
Yeah.
And I didn't send Mike any clips, but he can't even throw the ball from me to you. He had a couple balls the other day. He couldn't throw it more than 100 feet. He's in left field, the shortest left field in baseball, yet he's bouncing the ball 8 times through the infield to home plate.
I saw one throw. It looked like it went into the Brewers dugout there.
Yeah.
And he was like, come on. What are you
And it's not the first time this year, too. What happened to his arm?
I don't know. He's not known for his fielding. I mean, he can. Hey, you know what the old saying is? Like Michael Jordan says, if you hit, you can play. You will play.
Yeah.
Forget about fielding. You got to hit, right?
Well, that's what they did to him after he had such a bad day in the outfield. Last night, he was the designated hitter. And you don't want a 20-something-year-old guy who's a designated hitter. That's usually for the big fat guy that plays first base. That's out of shape and he's like 35 years old.
Right.
Not a young, upcoming kid shouldn't be DHing.
No. But you find in more and more young players, and Anthony's one of them. He got paid $130 million for a 9-year contract. And at surface, you look at it and you say, well, this guy's the next coming of Ted Williams. That might be a bargain, but it's not starting out so well. But that seems to be the modus operandi of these teams. They're signing all these young players. There's a player on the Pirates named Connor Griffin. He hasn't even played AAA yet. He just signed this huge contract. But they're trying to, these teams like the middle market teams that don't have the big money, Milwaukee being one of them, they're trying to sign them early on because if they ever do turn into something, they're going to get killed. They're going to get annihilated. So they say, hey, we'll give them an $80 million, kind of like they did with what's his name there, the second baseman for the Red Sox. Campbell. They gave him $60 million for 8 years or something. And
that did not age well.
That didn't age well, but they're willing to take that chance because if the player does turn into something, I mean, they're going to be paying that, by that time, they're going to be paying that a year.
Yeah.
Yep. So that seems to be the trend now, especially in smaller markets. Lock them up early.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing I have is Wilson Contreras. Remember I said in spring?
It's a nut job.
He's a total nut.
He got hit the other night, but did he get hit?
It grazed his hand.
And he said he has a history with the bit.
Yeah.
I interrupt you.
Well,
what about him?
He's played in the same division, as far as he was on the Cubs and the St. Louis. And he's played against Milwaukee his whole career. So he's been hit by 24 pitches in a career. Here's a guy that leans over the plate, has all this armor on his arms and legs because he gets hit all the time because he hangs over the plate.
Right.
So that's what happens. Derek Jeter used to get hit all the time too because he would do the same thing.
Yeah.
So he got hit the other night and he lost his mind. And now he said that, I'm taking someone out next time someone hits me.
I read that, yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, you've been hit 24 times by one team, which sounds like a lot, but when you've played your whole career in this same division as Milwaukee, you're playing that team like 19 times a year, you're gonna get hit.
You're gonna get hit, especially somebody that hangs over the plate like that.
Right. So he's a nut. And I even said that during the World Baseball Classic, I really didn't know much about him. And I didn't like him because he got a walk and he's staring down the pitcher walking to first. And I'm like, this guy's a clown. He's a hothead. He's gonna do something crazy this year. You can count on it.
I was listening, coming back from basketball the other night, I was listening on the radio, the Red Sox broadcast, and they were applauding him, thinking this Contreras guy is exactly what they need to light a fire under these Red Sox asses. That's where they're going, because the rest of the team is just plain vanilla. Whatever.
Yeah, well, that's true. They do need a Spock because everyone else is just, oh, well.
Right.
But still, I don't know if you want him as your Spock and him as your spokesman because he's a hothead lunatic.
Yeah, I mean, they say that the pitch didn't even hit his batting glove. It just kind of grazed him. He was looking for it because of the history there.
You know what he reminds me of? Carl Everett. Do you remember that nut?
He was a nut.
I mean, he'd like be fighting players, fighting umpires, fighting his own team, and there was dark times for the Red Sox. This guy reminds me of that type of player.
He got into it with a fan one time, I think. He was a real nut job.
He was, and this guy I think is on the.
He's going there.
He's heading there, yeah. And the last thing I'll say is, you're like, hey, the Red Sox are in trouble. Don't worry, Christian Cassis is going to come back. No, he's not. No. He's the guy that tore his patella tendon last year. And he's been working out in the minors and stuff, and they shut him down again because he can't swing the bat.
He's the guy that he wears the colored nail polish on his
fingernails.
Yes,
and he has a rib strain now, which makes him unable to swing a bat.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's a guy, we always talk about prospects and stuff. He was a guy projected to be a great Red Sox player. Every year he's hurt. He's never done a goddamn thing.
What did I call them?
Suspects.
They're not prospects, they're suspects until they prove themselves.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
Move on.
How about the NCAA tournament? What do you think? UConn beats Illinois. Okay, that's no big surprise there. And Michigan took care of Arizona, which was kind of iffy. They're both powerhouses, right? And then in the final, Michigan beats UConn 69-63. Now, Michigan had basically scored, over 90 points their first 5 games. They set a record, and I think you had said something about their margin of victory was like 19 points a game. And they only won by 6, but they shot terribly, they rebounded terribly, and they still found a way to win the game. And they did it through defense, and they were 25 for 28 at the line. They found a way to win. They were the much better team. They played their worst game of the year, and they still found a way to beat UConn. What do you say?
Yeah, well, first I'll congratulate you. The NCAA pool I run, you came in second. You had Michigan winning the whole tournament. So very good, very good. Yeah, when I saw Michigan against Arizona, 2 #1 seeds, I'm like, this is the game I got to watch.
Yeah.
And it was an annihilation. It ended up like 91-73, but it wasn't even that close.
No.
And after I saw that game, I'm like, I don't care who they play. There is no one can compete with this team. It's one of the best teams I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, every game was a blowout. 101-80, 95-72, 90-77, 95-62, and 91-73.
Yeah.
And yeah, they won 69-63 to win over UConn. It looks like a 6-point game? No, that thing felt like a 20-point game. UConn was never in it because anytime they got it to like 4 points, it'd go back up to 11 in a second.
Yeah, it was teeter-tottering on 10, 11 points for the last, 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game anyway, and they finally, they won by 6. And Michigan was losing their best player, Lendeborg. He was a non-entity because he had sprained his ankle the game before. I mean, this guy averages like over 20 points a game. I think he only had a half a dozen or something. So it's just that they found a way to win through their defense and through their foul shooting, and that's what good teams do. And kudos to UConn to stay in the game with them.
Yeah, that's
nobody else could stay in the game with them.
Nobody else would have stayed in. No. But the thing was, in the first half, it was like 15 fouls to 4. UConn committed 15 fouls, so it was a big disparity. But the thing was that they were forcing the play.
Yeah.
Michigan was forcing the play, being more physical, and getting the calls.
But Michigan's, man, they only shot 38%. They only shot 13% from 3. They hit 2 for 15. Yeah. And they're known for their three-point shooting. And they still won the game.
Yeah, and then UConn, it went a stretch where they missed 15 consecutive three-pointers. Yeah. So had they been hot with the three-pointers, they might have been able to steal it.
Well, you live or die with the 3, and they died. They died. But if there's any points for showing up, and they really did show up.
Yeah,
they really did give them a game.
They did. They were there.
They were there. So,
anything else in the NCAA?
Yeah, I got this guy, this UConn women's coach. He drives me crazy, Gino Ariyama. I mean, he's so total non-class with not shaking hands with the South Carolina players after they beat Dawn Staley, the coach, and all the players. He just walked off the court, and I mean, he was going for his 13th title. He already won 12, and he just was all pissed off because he said she didn't come out and beat him before the game. And oh, come on, this guy, he's got to go, but he won't because he's an institution there. They won't do anything to him. But
no, how much money does he generate for the university?
Well, that's it. It all comes down to that.
And that's the thing. He's complaining before the game. He waited at center court for 10 minutes, and the South Carolina coach never came out to shake his hand. But if he'd won that game, I think he wouldn't have gave a crap. Yeah. But because he lost, it's an excuse.
That's it. You hit it right on the head. If he had won the game, he would have been all over. He would have been hugging all the players in South Carolina, the coach and everything. He just couldn't. There's a true measure of a person. How it's not only when you win, how you act when you lose. For lack of a better term, you got to be a good loser. But the other side of that, people say, "You show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser," right?
Right, exactly.
But in this case right here with coaches, I mean, they got to show some class.
Yeah, right. You got to fake it.
Fake it, man.
Fake that you have class.
Fake it, man.
But even like his statement afterwards, a couple days later, I apologize to the staff. He didn't say to the coach.
Right.
He was just saying the staff and their players. So even their apologies. And he should have came out and went in front of a camera instead of a written statement that really was kind of like, why'd you even do it? It was a waste of our time.
That's because he didn't make the statement. His publicist did.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true, yeah.
We had enough of that?
I did.
Okay.
I do.
How about our Boston Celtics? They're up, they got a solid hold of the second place, the seeding. They're 3 games up there. And so they're headed for a second round matchup with the Knicks. And Tatum's, basically before I get to Tatum, they just want to stay healthy. And they want to give this guy Vukovic some playing time. But he had a broken finger, and everybody else they've been kind of sitting out, no back-to-back games and everything. So they appear to be ready. Jason Tatum's going back to Madison Square Garden for the first time since that last May 12th there, and he's talking about how tentative he is about that, and he's worried about it. But I think the Celtics are in good shape. I can't see them not making a great showing. I mean, to guarantee they'll go to the finals, no, but I think they got a better chance than anybody. And I know you mentioned Detroit, but I don't think they're going to get him.
Well, the thing is, when I mentioned Detroit, Tatum has really elevated his game the last couple weeks.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's say that again. Say that again. Say that. When
he first came back.
No, say it again.
He's elevated his game.
Okay. I just want to hit on record. Okay.
But I'm just saying, when he first came back, it was a little tentative and stuff like that, and the offense really went into a funk.
Right.
And they kind of worked it out now where 2 weeks ago Tatum was the player of the week, and this week Brown was the player of the week. And there's no team in the East that has a 1-2 punch like that.
Right. You're coming to my side?
So, but here's
Okay.
the thing, though.
All right.
The only part I'm not coming to your side is you're talking about the second round against the Knicks. You got to win the first round to get there. And I'm just saying weird things happen because
I know.
last year they were huge favorites over the Knicks, and they blew 2 20-point leads in game 1 and 2.
They did.
Which then gave the Knicks confidence and momentum, and then Tatum ended up getting hurt and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, you can run into a team like they played last night, a young team like that.
Yeah, they're hot. They're up and coming,
That's
Charlotte. But they're not ready.
They're not ready, but you know what? They could extend you, 5-6 games.
Yeah.
So don't be looking past anyone. You got to play the schedule, and you can't be just saying we're playing the Knicks in a month.
I'm looking past them. I think they're an up and coming team. They got a lot of talent, but they're just not ready for the moment yet.
No, but they could sneak up and win a game or two.
And I think that last year's loss to the Knicks, it wasn't all on Tatum. They were down. Was it after that game? They were down 3-1, right? It wasn't all.
Yeah, they
Tatum
came
going.
home, and then the Celtics wiped them out with Brown leading the charge.
Yeah,
and then they went back
lost
to New York and lost Game 6.
Right.
But you gave them confidence because you were huge favorites in the series.
Like we were talking about last week, who's a better team? Is it this year's Celtics or last year's? And I was last year's, well, they're a little long in the tooth. I think they were showing that last year some, with Holiday and Horford a little bit,
Yeah.
And Porzingis is kind of like a hit or miss. He's when he plays, he's great, but he doesn't.
Well, he had that weird illness last year where he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And he'd only be able to play 2 or 3 minutes at a time. That hurts you a lot.
That hurt him big time.
So you got the big guy that's coming back now for the Celtics, who's going to help him a lot in the playoffs.
Yep.
So
we get Vucevic going.
Yeah.
And they're really, they're deep at center.
Yeah.
This guy, Cater, man, he's fourth center. He was fourth on the pecking order last year. Now he's number 1, and he's actually playing really good.
Playing good, yeah.
And Luka
they're playing good.
Garza's a 3-point shooter, and Vucevic is supposed to be better than both of them, and he hasn't even played yet of any meaningful minutes. So they're deep. They're deep there.
They are, and the key is, as long as like lately they're going to the hoop. That's like the Jaylen Brown mentality. It's Jaylen Brown's team right now. Yeah. Tatum is let's take dumbass 3-point shots and just stand by the 3-point line the whole game and see what happens. But Brown has instilled in this team: go to the hoop, go to the hoop, go to the foul line. And I enjoy watching this team more this year than last year.
See,
I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying they play a smarter brand of basketball.
I'm saying they're better, and I'm saying that not only Jaylen Brown goes to the hoop great, so does Jason Tatum. They both can go to the hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go. All good things happen when you go to the hoop. You go to the line.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 good things can happen.
Yeah.
Either you're going to get the basket, or you're going to get fouled.
And one.
And then the bad thing is you missed a shot.
Yeah. And Tatum is a much better foul shooter than Brown. But Brown, if Brown has Achilles heel, it's his foul shooting. Right, honey?
Yeah, he can drive you nuts at the end of a game when he's up there missing free throws.
Yeah.
But
he can. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got enough about the Celtics. We want to go to the Bruins?
The Bruins are going to be quick. I mean, there I am last week pounding my chest saying they've won 4 in a row. They're wrapped up the number 1 wild card. They're looking great. Yeah. What have they done since?
They lost
4 in a row.
4 in a row, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was talking about how Swayman has really turned it around and played great. I changed my mind. He sucks. He got benched last night in the second period. I mean, he gave up like 5 goals on like 18 shots. Soft goal. And then they lost the earlier game this week. Soft goal. So he's back to sucking again.
Man, what a difference a week makes. That was just last week's show.
I know.
Matter of fact, I think I stopped you and said, let me hear that one again. You were praising him.
I am, but now I'm back to where it belongs.
Where he belongs?
Yeah. So they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to play Carolina, maybe. And if it's anything like last night, they lost to Carolina last night 6-5 in overtime.
Yeah.
They can't play with that team.
But the good news is it looks like they're going to be in the number 1 team for the wild card.
Yes.
They're not going to blow that.
No, they're going to make it. They're in the playoffs. Well, I mean, they're in great shape here. They got 3 games left, and they got a 6-point lead. Yeah. So they'd have to lose all of them, and the teams behind them would have to win all of them. And lucky for the Bruins, because they're playing crappy right now, is all the teams behind them keep losing. Right. So they're going to back in, basically, is how it looks.
And playoff hockey is actually something I will watch. I don't watch regular
hockey.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll get Larry the Beer out, and all 3 of us will watch a game.
Yeah, we'll watch a game, yeah.
We'll watch it through.
Hey, Timmy.
Yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we'll do a live show at a Bruins watch party or something.
Yeah.
There you
yeah,
go.
There you go. Okay.
All right, well, good
Anything
news is
else?
Morgan Geeky, who last week I trashed saying he hasn't scored in like 16 games.
17, but who's counting?
Yeah, well, last week it was 16, then he won another game, didn't score. But he got 3 goals last night. They lost, but he got 3 goals.
Yeah,
So at least he's happy.
Yeah, that was a headline in the Globe today. You know, Geeky scores 3, but that doesn't help Bruins' cause at all. You know?
Yeah.
So 4th straight loss. So
that's all I got.
all right.
What do you got?
I got a Mike's Minute.
All right.
I got a great human interest story. This is really a fantastic story. This is about we're talking about Michigan, right? Winning the NCAA tournament, right? Yaxel Lendeborg, he's a star forward for the team. Okay, he's the leading scorer, right? But you know, this is a story. You look at these players, you say they've been catered their whole lives and been pampered, and you know everybody's bowing down to them. And this is an example right here of what a mother's love can do to turn a child around. Because this kid was more than troubled. He was a high school senior in Jersey. He skipped school. He stayed up late. He was playing video games 12 to 14 hours a day.
Typical
right?
kid.
He got suspended. He was barely passing. He got kicked off the basketball team. He only played 11 varsity games in his whole career because he got kicked off the team, kicked out of school. And one night his mother was looking for him. He was at his friend's house playing video games. He wouldn't answer her phone, so she went over and went into his driveway and laying on the horn until he came out. And they had a little altercation there, and she was in tears, saying, "This has got to end right here. I'm going to give you a tough plan. You're going back. I'm going to enroll you in community college. You're going to get your credits. You're going to get back to high school because you have a great future. I believe in you more than you believe in yourself." And he wanted to say that. It just seeing his mother cry, and, you know, he had an epiphany, and he promised to step up.
Nice.
You know? But there was bumps in the road, of course. So his mother, as mothers do, never gave up. Right? She cleared out his distractions of his room. She even took the hinges off his bedroom door so she could see where he wasn't playing video games. Right? She made him work at a warehouse to see what a real job would be. Right? And so the big turnaround. She drove him to the tough parts of Camden and to go to this community college. No friends, no PlayStation, just worked. Right? And so all this was going on. And he ended up being transferred to Michigan, the end result with. But all was going on, she withheld from him that she had not breast cancer, she had appendix cancer. And because she didn't want to distract him until the end of the year. And in his words, everything has been different since that moment. All that I do, anything I have or will accomplish, I owe it to her. So this is a classic story of tough love parenting. You know, and basically a mother's unwavering belief in their child, and it just turned him from. If he wasn't, he has turned into the Big Ten Player of the Year, all defensive player. He's going to be a first-round draft choice, making multi-million dollars, or he would have been who knows where.
Wow.
What a story.
That is a great story.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
All right. So thanks for joining us. If you like it, give us a like, subscribe to the show. Next week, hopefully we can talk some football and know more of this TMZ stuff, you know,
Yeah.
about, so we can talk Patriots, who they're going to draft coming up.
And we'll do a little Red Sox. Hopefully they'll turn it around a little bit here.
Bruins and Celtics, their seasons will be over, and they'll be looking forward. We'll know who they're going to
they're
play
gonna
in the
play.
first round of the playoffs.
Probably going to be Charlotte, I think.
So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
a lot of good things ahead.
Awesome.
So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.